You know, normally I would come to this ring and ask you all, what do you want to talk about? But you know what? I know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about two people. And I'll start with the two people. The first, the least important of the two people, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You talk a lot about me. You talk about my father, you talk about my dog, and now you talk about my mother. And that's fine, Rock. Just keep talking. Keep talking trash. Because you know what? It's just going to continue to motivate me. It's going to make me ready for WrestleMania 40. So that by the time that me, Seth Rollins, and you and Roman Reigns go head to head at night one, I'll be very, very pissed off. And I'll have a lot of reasons to want to hurt you. In fact, for every time that you've brought up my mother, I will hit you. And I will hit you hard. And I will hurt you. You see, that slap that I gave you a few weeks ago on SmackDown, that's just a little taste of what you're going to get at WrestleMania 40, Rock. You call yourself now what? The final boss of the WWE. Let's get real, bud. We all saw what happened when you had that 1 minute exchange with Jinder Mahal. You were huffing, puffing, sweating profusely. You looked out of shape. And you know what? I don't care how much juice you put into your muscles. Obviously, that stuff doesn't really equate to being an athlete who's ready to go into the biggest stage, the biggest, grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania, in a main event against the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and the American Nightmare, me, Cody Rhodes. Rock, you're not on my level. You're not on Seth's level. We are the workhorses of this company, and you and Roman, to be quite honest with you, you're too busy living your nice little cushy lives, sitting on your leather couches and drinking champagne and all the weird Hollywood elitist stuff that you do and get up to. You're too used to living that cushy life that you think going to the gym and pumping it hard is at all equivalent to what me and Seth Rollins do each and every single night. The thing that you can't do and you never did as long as us. Rock, at WrestleMania 40, we are gonna beat your ass. And we're gonna expose you in front of thousands of people in attendance and the millions watching around the world for how much of a washed up has-been you really are. Because we all know that the only reason why you're even back in the WWE in the first place is because your movies are failing. Because you couldn't take over the DC cinematic universe. In fact, the stars of Hollywood are kind of sick of you. They can't deal with you. They learned what we all learned just recently, how much of a pathetic scumbag you really are. Did you know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wrote in his contract that he can only be hit a certain amount of times and that he couldn't lose a fight in a movie? How pathetic is that? How petty is that? But if you thought the pettiness couldn't get any worse, just look at the red carpets. This man loses a rock, paper, scissors match against some tiny little British girl who doesn't even have 1% near the amount of money that he has. And yet, he loses rock, paper, scissors, and he gets mad about it. And he tries to cover it off as like, oh, I'm just being playful. No. The Rock got pissed because his ego got hurt. Even losing a little game of rock, paper, scissors can hurt this man's ego. So much so that he demanded a rematch and said, oh, you must have cheated. That's funny because a few weeks ago on SmackDown, you told me that it's ridiculous to just demand a rematch after losing, even though I was unrightfully screwed out of the title at WrestleMania 39 and I won back-to-back Royal Rumbles. I didn't have that right to demand a rematch, but you lose a simple game of rock, paper, scissors. You try to turn it out that, oh, she cheated and you get your rematch. That's fine, right? The hypocrisy is very present in you, Rock. It's very present. You're riddled with hypocrisy and just there's so much I can say about you. I can bring up stuff that I probably get fined for, like Maui. I can't really go into that, but we'll just say Maui because I know a lot of people know that you were a scumbag on that part. I could bring up the fact that You have your daughter be promoted to a GM status despite the fact that she's really done nothing worthy of being the GM. And she's a nice person and all, and I don't want to ostracize her and target her so she can get ridiculed and trolled. But it's funny that you don't mind bringing up people's families. You can bring up people's families all you want, but as soon as your daughter gets made fun of, you get pissed off. You start crying. In fact, Rock, you call me the crybaby, right? Because I get emotional talking about this business, talking about this sport, and talking about my family, who mean the world to me. Well, guess what, Rock? I'd rather be an emotional person about those things than be a crybaby bitch about getting his little ego hurt, about losing rock, paper, scissors, about people not wanting him to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, despite the fact that there's a guy who won the Royal Rumble who deserves it more than him. So call me whatever you want, Rock. But at the end of the day, you're a pathetic person. And I'm going to beat your ass at WrestleMania. And the other guy I wanted to talk to is Roman Reigns. Roman, I had your number at WrestleMania 39. Everybody saw it. If it wasn't for the Usos, if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, and if it wasn't for Solo Sikoa, you would not be the undisputed WWE champion today. But when me and Seth Rollins beat you and The Rock at night one, when we beat your guys' ass at night one, you know what's going to happen? On night two, it's going to be me and you, and we're going to be all alone with just the thousands of people watching and the millions of people watching. But there'll be no bloodline to help you. There'll be no Seth Rollins to help me. It'll just be me and you. And Roman, let me tell you something. Ever since that night in Hollywood at WrestleMania 39, I have done nothing but think about how I'm going to get back at you and how I'm going to kick your ass at WrestleMania 40. What you did to me at WrestleMania 39, it really ticked me off. And you're going to see something at WrestleMania 40. You're going to see why they call me the American Nightmare. I keep talking about how at WrestleMania 40, I'm going to finish the story. I'm going to finish my story. Well, actually, I'm going to start my story. My championship story. My story of legacy. That's when I'm going to start. At WrestleMania 40. And at WrestleMania 40, I'm going to end your title reign. The bloodline will crumble. And at WrestleMania 40, I'm going to finish your story, Roman Reigns.